All right. Hello, everyone, and good evening. My name is Ash, and welcome to Corporate Training. Tonight, we're doing Market Like a Pro, where we're doing lookers versus bookers, how to qualify clients and stop wasting time. If you haven't met me yet, my name is Ash. I'm an Evo 200 and a two-time IATAN holder and a corporate trainer, presenter, and all the above. Most of you guys know me by now. And tonight's training is probably one of my most favorite trainings because this is something that we all struggle with as advisors. No matter if you're an amazing advisor, if you're a brand new advisor, or maybe you're just like in the rough of it when you're first starting out, etc., we all struggle with being able to identify who's just looking for prices and who actually wants to book with us. So I'd like to take this training and break it down for you guys in a way that when you guys start having other conversations, like in the future with other people, you go automatically, wait, does this person want to look or they actually want to book with me? Like the training idea here is for you to hear it automatically. That way, when you have conversations or if you read things, you can go, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember Ash said, wait a minute on this, right? So that's what I kind of do in my training for tonight is just to help you guys better identify who you're talking to so you don't waste time. Now, before I start my training, I always like to show you guys what I'm doing for next month. Since this is the last Friday of April, I'll go ahead and let you guys know for May. I'm doing a really good topic on May is how to market affiliate links. I have a ton of affiliate links that I use all the time. I just started a new affiliate link that I'm going to be using, which is actually going to be like a lead magnet for a guide. So I'll teach you guys a little bit about that too. But I'm going to be talking about how to market affiliates on the first Friday. So I guess technically next week. I'll talk about that. And then the last Friday of May, I'll also talk about, is your social media ready for clients? Because a lot of us set up our social media, but there's like missing parts that kind of make it to where we miss bookings. So I'm going to be doing like a breakdown of social media and how to make sure it's ready for clients. All right. So make sure you guys come back on the first and fourth Friday of May at 5 p.m. Pacific. I will be here again to do these awesome trainings. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. So the real problem that a lot of people have when it becomes a travel advisor, at first they tell me, okay, I'm having a hard time finding leads. And a lot of the times that kind of how do I say, kind of goes away over time. Over time, we start building up leads, we start talking to people, we start growing, etc., right? And then we find ourselves going, oh, I'm still struggling with leads. But the reality of it is that you're actually not struggling to find the leads, you're struggling with the wrong leads. How many of you guys have went through this? How many of you have been here for a few years and you find yourself, you have an abundance of them, but none of them are closing or they're wasting your time? Maybe they have endless quotes, they're ghosting you, or you get those messages that say you're just looking, right? A lot of us go through that when we first start. This is a good topic. That's why we struggle. Yes, for sure. A lot of us go through this when we first start, and it's not that we need more clients, okay? We can always find money in the follow-up. What we actually need is just better conversations. And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about tonight. We're going to talk about really qualifying them, but we're not going to do like the quick standard, like where do you want to go? What's your favorite place? Da, 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 da. Like we're not going to do that. We're going to kind of go through it like in a conversation so that you guys can learn how to naturally stop wasting your time. All right. Now, what is a looker? That's the first one that we will start with. All right. So looker is something that I actually came up with because I couldn't say the other word. I just made this up randomly, okay? There's not actually a thing called lookers and bookers, okay? I just made it up because that's what we always seem to run in. So what is a looker, okay? They take your time, but they don't book. That's it. That's exactly what they are. You will see them that they're just browsing. They avoid setting a budget. There's no firm dates. They demand multiple quotes and they normally disappear after pricing. Now, tonight we're actually going to play a game. So you guys have to stay till we at least play the game, okay? And in the game, we're actually going to identify who was a looker and who was a booker. And I have several examples for you guys because I want you to naturally see how this happens so that it doesn't happen to you, okay? So a looker, they're just browsing. They have no intentions of actually booking. They just want to see what they can find or what you can do for them. Okay. Now, what is a booker? Booker is, we already know, they don't need perfection. They're not asking you to do a lot of different things. They just need a guided direction to the point of booking. They have a clear time frame for when they want to go. They know their budget. They're responsive and engaged. They're open to your expert guidance, and they're ready to move forward. This is what we qualify as a booker, right? Now, this seems to have a bigger definition than what I'm giving you, because I know it seems basic, but these two lines right here that you guys cross between lookers and bookers, this can literally make it to where you're spending way more time on something that you don't need to, right? If you constantly, my sound is going in and out. Okay, hold on. I'll turn off my camera since you guys can't see me anyways. So basically, time spent on lookers is normally what we consider lost income, right? Burnout comes from chasing the wrong people, and income comes from focusing on the right ones. We all know that, right? But the honest point is, when we come to having these conversations, a lot of the times we don't realize that they're actually lookers until we've wasted too much time on them. Can we all agree with that? Like, by the time we get to where we actually realize, oh man, they were just looking, we've already probably sent them massive amounts of quotes, or we've already talked to them a lot. We've spent time looking things up, and come to find out, like, it is to a point where we were like, oh wait, we didn't have to do all that. If I would have asked them a couple of questions, I could have saved myself time, right? This is what happens with lookers, because they have no intention of booking, but they don't want to tell you that because they want you to do the research for them, right? So we have to change the mindset shift when we are talking to these people. When we're qualifying people, I have just determined in the year of 2026 that I'm going to qualify every single person that I meet. Is that weird? I don't know. I qualify every person that I meet, because to me, you can either be my client or you could possibly be my agent. So when I'm meeting you, automatically I'm excited about what I do, and then I kind of get like this vibe of like who you are as a person too. Now, I have a whole training on that, but I like to kind of shift your mind so that you're not just sitting here waiting for people to book with you. You're automatically making the bookings happen, because you're not trying to convince somebody to book. You actually just start identifying the people who actually want to book. Does that make sense to you guys? Because a lot of us are, especially when we first start, we're all like, I think they want to book. I don't know. Let me find out. Like, let me ask questions, etc. Right? Like, we need to shift that mindset. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you how to do tonight. But basically, you are going to start being able to identify who actually wants to book with you before you even get to the point. And honestly, I've been here for 4 years, and this is one of the most beautiful things that we have as a travel agent. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? First of all, you shift from being a quote machine to a travel advisor. You begin to know your worth as an advisor. And when somebody comes to you with some BS, is what I'm going to call it, okay? When they come to you with that BS, you already have that mindset where you're like, nope, I already know, we already know what this is, right? And that doesn't normally happen right away. It happens over time, but I promise you, you'll come back to it and you'll be like, oh yeah, Ash was talking about this, okay? It's that confidence where you're like, I know what I bring to the table. I know what I can offer you, but you have to be really honestly willing to take my service, or I'm not going to waste my time. That's what we have to put ourselves in, right? Because we're advisors. We're advising them on travel. We are not meant to be quote machines. We're not meant to be people that are just pricing. That's what the Expedia is for, right? That's not what we are for. So we got to get in that mindset shift to where we have the ability to put ourselves as confident advisors, okay? So with that, the most important thing that we can do first is the qualification of whoever we are talking to, okay? Now, let me ask you this. Before you guys are building your quotes, are you guys already asking them what the dates they are looking at? What's the budget range? Are you ready to book? Are you just exploring? Have you guys, do you guys qualify people before you start quoting them? Like, let me ask what the qualification process is for you guys. Are you guys, someone said yes. Like, are you guys really going in depth when it comes to qualifications? Like, are you asking them, have they traveled to this destination before? Like, are you asking them what's the reason that they're going on this trip? And the reason I ask that is because a lot of us get so excited that when we start qualifying them, we just get in there and we just start looking for it, right? But not to that extent. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Brandy. Like, I remember this. I've been a new agent, guys. I was right there with you guys in the trenches. I know what it's like. And that was my number one problem right there. I would get a little bit of that information and then I would just run with it, right? And this is my first training for marketing my biz. Welcome aboard, Dee. We are excited to have you. Welcome to the team. I have the quote form with most of this answered. Okay, but Christy, we can't rely just on that quote form, okay? And I'm going to tell you how I reply to these people tonight when they send me a quote form so I can help you further kind of evaluate them, because this is going to help you really save. Now, Christy, I think you're the one who told me you just closed on a honeymoon booking, right? So, yes, now that's going to come from that qualification because you're qualifying them down. So we have our inquiry form, which I'm going to show you on the next page, ironically. But what we're going to do is take that a little bit further is what I want you guys to do. Okay. Now here is my inquiry form. We're just going to open this up. So normally, here's the fun part with this one. Okay. Normally, when I show you guys my inquiry form, I just show you my basic one, yeah? But tonight, I've decided that I actually wanted to show you my broken down one because I want to show you how far I qualify these people, okay? So the JOT form that I'm showing you is a niche-based JOT form, okay? Now, a lot of you are new, and this might be your first training, like Dee said, okay? Yours won't be as advanced as mine, but I want you to understand that I have niched this down all the way because it only goes to certain people, okay? So my niche-based one is Passport to Pleasure, and this is my adults only getaways for my travel, okay? So in this one, for my qualification form toolkit is what I use. This job form is free. Oh, job form's free. You have 5 forms that you can use for free. You're totally fine. So name, last name, email, phone number. We know all of that, right? Who is traveling? This is how far I qualify this. Ready? Just me and a partner, friends, celebrating something special, not sure yet. Do you see how much more qualification I go into than normally? What do we normally just put? All right, who's going, right? How many kids? What is this? What is that? I break it really far down because let me tell you something. This is a qualification not for them. I don't care about for them. This is for me. Just me. Okay, I'm going to tell you, when I get adults only getaways, we get a lot of interesting characters, especially single men who want to go and do things, okay? I'm not against that, but when they put just me, that qualification tells me that I'm not planning an adults couples getaway. That tells me that I need to find single rates just for men, right? This is what that does. That's not for them. That's for me. A friend's party, okay? If a friend's, this is JOT form. I'll put it in there for you. Hold on one second. Like this. Somebody's asking. It should be like that. Should be like JOT form. I think that's what it is. Yeah, jotform.com. Yeah. So then I take it even further than that. And like, I have friends in there. Okay. If they tell me it's friends, that means that they're going to want multiple rooms. They might be together in a room. And like a lot of the times the resorts that I do for this specific niche is couple based. So I have to be very specific about what I'm asking. Do you guys get where I'm going with this? Okay. Do you want to leave, or the date you want to leave and return? I need that. And then I break it down to resorts. This is how far I take this one. I do this in resorts because guess what? This is what I want to book. I know that sounds so silly, but I want to book this. This is the resorts I want to book. So I'm going to take that direction and I'm going to give them to my clients because a lot of my clients will come to me and they'll be like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm not sure yet. I want recommendations, but I can go ahead and tell you right now that this is probably what I'm going to recommend you. Okay. These are the most common places that I book. Secrets, Breathless, Temptations, Hedonism, and then all of the cruise lines. This is where I go. So I naturally put this in there because I want to guide them to that direction. I try to kind of entice them to book these before I even get there. So then when I suggest it, we're not new to this suggestion, right? Then I take it as far as the room preference. This is a really big deal. This is a huge deal for quoting. And I didn't really realize how big of a deal it is until I became like 4 or 5 years, like sitting here trying to quote people. Okay. You start paying attention to this because this is their budget. Can we talk about that? That's their budget right here, right? If I pick a trendy garden view, I don't really care about where I'm like the room I'm going in. I just care about the experience. That's what that tells me. Ocean view and up tells me that they're okay with paying a little bit more and that they're really there for the room too. So the room is important to me. So I break it down all the way to there because this right here, like if I were to do a cruise, this is a guarantee room. Okay. Guaranteed. They don't care. They just want to get on the cruise. But when they start telling me it's a balcony or they want a suite, upgraded, whatever, then I go, ooh, okay. They have a specific reason for that. That's what that's for, right? How many rooms do you need? I put this in here because I don't ever want to put myself in like a box to where only one person's booking a room. Like, what if they were suggesting 4 or 5 friends, right? But like they were just going to now put only one room because you're talking to them. I want to open this up. I want to make sure they're not needing any more rooms. Okay. So I put that in there. And then what kind of adults only experience are you looking for? This is very important to me. It might not make as much sense for your niche, but I'm trying to figure out what resort to send them to. I'm qualifying them before I even have a conversation with them. Romantic and intimate, that's breathless. Chill and luxury, that's secrets. Social but not wild, hedonism. Like that's how far in depth I go with this so that I don't waste my time searching up millions of different places, right? Then another one, are you going with at least 21 years of age? I need that because they're going to resorts where they drink, so I have to know that. Do you need flights? And then if so, what's the departure city? And then lastly, the budget. Now, a budget can be broken down in several different ways, okay? A lot of you guys do budget total. A lot of you guys do budget per group, but I like to break it down per person. Now, the reason I like to break it down per person is because that's exactly how I'm going to quote it. I quote it per person and then I'll put like at double occupancy or at quadruple occupancy, whatever it is. But I always make sure that I go per person because it gives me a better budget range. Do you guys agree with that? Because like think about it like this. If I were to come to you and go, do you think it's fair that you paid like $1,400 for a 7-night stay for yourself and with flights? Yeah, that's fair that I paid $1,400 for me to fly to a place and stay somewhere for 7 nights, right? But if I were to come to you and say, do you think it's cool that you paid $2,800 for you two to go somewhere? That sounds way more extensive, right? That's why I like to break it down per person because it gives them less like shell shock. I don't want to overwhelm them with all right, here's $2,800. Instead, I'd rather overwhelm them and be like, okay, it's only $1,400 for 7 nights with flights and transportation and an all-inclusive resort stay. What? Are you kidding me? That's nothing, right? That's what I do. All right. Now, lastly, do you see the last question? The most important question on this form right here. Are you ready to make a deposit? This is the biggest thing that will break and make a looker versus a booker. Okay. If they say yes, that's a good sign. That's a good thing that they probably are looking to book. If they want to pay in full, even better. We'll take that, right? But if they click no, that's automatically a flag in the play. That's automatically me going, okay, how much time am I really going to spend with this, right? And if they don't know anything, and if they come through my form and they just put, I'm not sure yet, open to recommendations, other, or surprise me. Do you see how this is? This tells me they're looking. That's what this is. That's why I have them in here. If they have no idea where they want to go, no idea on the room preference or what they're looking for, that is that automatically. I'm flexible for the right experience. I have these questions in here for a reason. I'm trying to qualify them to see if they're looking or if they actually want to book. I know that the surprise me works great. I know that they're flexible for the right experience, right? Do you send this information? Yeah, this is my job form. Yes, absolutely. Now, this was a very extensive job form that I've built over time. And D, if you need help with building a job form, I have a training on it that I can get you, that I do exactly this. But this one isn't my normal, like I have a regular travel one that I do too, but this one is very specific because I need to get in and get out. I don't need to spend a lot of time quoting you. I don't need to do, all the extra work. This is exactly how extensive I need it to be. So I can go, all right, they want a room for hedonism. It's $2,000 to $3,000 per person. They need flights. All right, cool, go, right? It's exactly what I try to do here. Okay, now going back, thanks. Appreciate that. She said she loves this. I appreciate you. So going back into my presentation, yeah. So that is my job form. Now that's just a version of my job form, okay? Not a requirement for you guys to be that extensive, but I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, I got you. I'll just give me to the end, guys, and I've got everything for you. Yeah, for sure. Would you say someone who is not ready to make a deposit? Yes, exactly, Donna. There you go. Donna is asking the right question. That's the power question. Donna said, what would you say to someone who's not ready to make a deposit and was an iffy person? That's exactly what we're going to cover for tonight, okay? But that is the power question. That is the question that kind of determines what I do with the booking. Are you looking to book now or just exploring your options, right? Exploring doesn't mean that they're not going to ever book with you. That's just someone that we have to nurture over time. A booking, if they're like, oh, I need to book now, that means I need to move fast and I need to close it, okay? Exploring to me is meaning that, I'm not necessarily going to spend a lot of time. Yeah. No. I feel like mine is so much more in depth than it needs to be. Lexus, post it for me and I'll take a look at it. But the reason I ask these two questions and I put them together like that, I do that because I don't want to waste a lot of time, right? Now, that doesn't mean I don't want them to book with me, so I'm not going to sit here and like close them out completely. It just means that like I have other things to do. I'm going to quote you, but I'll move on. Now, the reason I do this, okay, I have been here, like I said, for 4 years. I am very, very popular on TikTok. TikTok was my platform that just kind of took off and did very well. I get roughly about 4 to 5 quotes roughly within a matter of a couple of days. Sometimes it's back to back because they see my post and they automatically go to book. But I can tell you out of those 4 to 5 people that are quoting, normally I'm only going to book 1 or 2. Okay. And the reason is because you think about it like when you're on TikTok and you're scrolling, you get excited. So you're like, oh yeah, fill this out, go, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to come back and actually do it. You just want to kind of bookmark it or save it. So when that happens with a lot of people, you get really tired of quoting, right? So now I hit them with this question. Automatically, when I start qualifying and I talk to them, I go, wait a minute. Are you planning on booking? Do you honestly, do you plan on taking it further? Before I even start looking, I ask this question, okay? Now, let me read some of these questions because I like them. Do you even bother reaching out if someone fills it out that way? Oh no, I automatically reach out, Kaylee, automatically. And I got an example for that too, okay? But I automatically reach out and I automatically save their email and I throw it into my newsletters, etc. Any person that I take an email from or a quote from, I'm grabbing that email and I'm saving it for later because just because they won't book right now doesn't mean they're not going to ever book, right? So, not really. Do you charge for quotes or is that a bad taste? Elise, honestly, I don't necessarily charge for quotes unless they start asking me for more than I've already done. If I've seen like they're constantly spinning my wheels and asking me for quotes, I normally kind of give them the push like, hey, like you're asking me a lot now, right? And then I will get to that point if I have to charge a quote. But I've never really gotten to a point where I've had to charge somebody until honestly it was like a really extensive vax booking. I don't want to get into it, but it was harsh. And then I charged them. Is 5 forms enough? If I need, 5 is more than enough tomorrow. I only use 3, honestly. I only use 3 forms. I have one for my cruises. I have one that's just for general travel. And then I have my one that's adults only because that's my niche. Thank you tomorrow. I appreciate you. Yes. My link to my TikTok. Yeah. So give me 1 second, guys. I'll give you all the links. Let me just go through this so I don't take up too much of your time. But I'll give you guys, you can have my TikTok, YouTube, all of that. You guys already know. I don't gatekeep anything. So I will gladly share it with you all. Okay. So moving on a little bit, I want to show you guys how to qualify people. Okay. So you don't necessarily have to have the most in-depth form. If you're working on your form, you can still talk to people and qualify them without even needing a form. Because let's be honest, a lot of the times when people come to us, do they fill out the form? Absolutely not, right? How rare is it that people actually will fill out that form? Sometimes, oh, thanks, Andrea. Appreciate you. Yes, absolutely. Like how many times have we found ourselves where they like refuse to fill out the form, right? They always do that to us. They want to talk to us. They want to ask us questions. Okay, fine. But this is what I want you to do next time that happens. The next time somebody hops in your inbox, okay, and they don't want to do the form, they just want to pick your brain, I want you to qualify them instead. I want you to interview them before they get the chance to interview you, okay? So I had, this is kind of old, but I had somebody hop in my inbox one time and they were like, hey, I want a tour. I need to go on a tour for next year for September. Okay, that's great. Now, mind you, this little thing right here, okay, I actually knew this person that I was qualifying them. I've been this looker before. So I actually qualified them this way, okay? So just to give you a rough idea how you can do it, all right? So good morning, hope all is well. Following up to get some specifics for your trip. Are there any specific dates in September? September, the month in general, is great for me, but a lot of the times people like to go early in the September because of the holiday, so I was asking for that specific reason. And this was for a group tour in Ireland, okay? So how long is the group looking to go? Were you needing a full package or just a tour? What parts of Ireland are you looking to visit? In the group, are there adults and children? And finally, what is the budget looking like per person so I can get an idea where to look? Because we know those tours can go from like 4,000 to like 10,000 in a matter of like 5 scrolls, right? So I need to ask. And then I said, thank you for reaching out to me. I appreciate the support and I look forward to helping you plan. Okay. Now, this one is a very long qualification because she refused to do the form. So I was like, fine, you want my help? Well, I'm gonna ask you questions before I ever help you. So that's perfectly fine. We could do this either way you want it, right? But these things are very, very important because I'm covering the dates, I'm covering when they want to go, in general of the month, the specific booking request, where, how many, if they're adult or kids, because that changes the price, and then the complete budget. Okay. This is a simple qualification. Now, I'm going to tell you, with this qualification, I'm able to do a complete research on a booking, right? This is everything that I need, and that's exactly what I do. So before I answer somebody, first of all, I chat GPT it clearly. I chat GPT that, right? So before I answer somebody, I automatically think in my head, what do I need to do this booking? I don't ask anything else. I don't do anything else. And when I first reach out to somebody, like, okay, let's just say, where's Heather? Heather was just here. I'm going to use Heather as an example, okay? Heather's just, I love Heather. Look at Heather. She's just helping everybody. Thank you, Heather. So give you a rough idea, okay? When I get a new inquiry, let's just say Heather sent me a message and she's like, hey, I'm interested in booking Disney. Okay. The first thing that I do is respond immediately. Hey, I'm so excited for you to be able to, to book Disney. That's fantastic. I'd love to help you on that. If you give me a few minutes, I'm going to come back and just ask you a couple questions so I can do a proper search. Okay. Now, I do that because I have ADHD. Okay. And I get a lot of quotes and a lot of inquiries at one time. So I have to come back to them and kind of piece them together all at once. But I always first make sure I acknowledge them because I want to acknowledge that I have the quote so they don't forget about me. Okay. So then when I come back, not Disney, sorry, Heather. Okay, fine. To Hawaii. We're going to Hawaii, Heather. Let's go to the convention together. I'm going to qualify you for that. Okay. But after I do that, I come back and then I start looking at what they're asked, like what she asked for. So if she asked for a room at, where are we going? To Hawaiian Village. So she asked me for a room for Hawaiian Village. She asked me for flights. Okay. So now I need to come back in there and start asking her questions. And I ask them just like this. Exactly like that. It's friendly. It's not like, kind of verbatim, because if you do it verbatim, they're going to skip it. They're not going to answer you. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, and they'll answer part of it and then go underneath. You have to build into it. So sometimes I will layer the questions like this. And then sometimes if I get the vibe that they're like not really interested in answering my questions, and then I go slowly with it too. I'll drag it in there. And then every time I respond to them, I respond with a question. I don't ever leave it closed. I always come in and I ask more questions or I get more information from them. Okay. Now, with this, let's play a little game. Okay. Let's identify some lookers and bookers, shall we? I love how I made that up. Okay. Don't let anybody ever take that. That was mine. Okay. All right. So lookers and bookers, help me identify these. All right. So here's the first one. I'll read it out loud just in case you guys can't see it. I know it's a little blurry. These are real life messages from just random clients that I've had throughout the years. Okay. So, hey girl, I messaged you on Snap. Hey, Lexus, come on now. Let me read first. She's good. She already got it. All right. So, I messaged you on Snap, but I'm in a panic. Is our date sold out? It's not showing on the website anymore. Just kidding. I didn't scroll. I still see it. Oh, let me look. Okay. That sent me into a panic automatically. I'm like, oh crap. Let me go run this real quick. Right now, I'm not seeing the May one, but I see the June 1st one, which is fine. I sent you my number just in case because she's messaging me on Facebook. I'm looking now. It didn't seem sold out yesterday. Okay. Now, do you feel with the urgency? Can we all agree that that's a booker, right? Yes. Yes. Lex says you got it right. I'm going to give you a heart just because you got it right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. That I'm automatically, yes, she was a booker. No, you're fine. You're fine. Yes, you're automatically, that is a booker because you can feel the sense of urgency. She's freaking out because it's actually sold out. Now, let me tell you something about this lady, okay? She's done this to me twice. She did this once with MSC and I booked it. And then she just did it to me like a month ago for Disney and I booked her Disney cruise too. So I just love that she never finds anything. Thank you, right? But she has that sense of urgency that's like, oh, I need to close it, okay? That's a booker. Now, concerned about being possibly sold out. Exactly. Now, let's go over here to the right one here. Do you have a Europe package? Oh, I hate when they do this. Sure. Let me just pull it out of the air real quick, right? Like what does that even mean? All right. What are you trying to do there? I can put anything together because I have to leave it open, right? Sometimes they want to do tours, sometimes they don't. And then this guy's like, I just want to visit my family members and some friends, not at the moment. Not at the moment, but later and do some sightseeing with my girl. Oh, yes, I can do that. Okay, now here's the last part. What this automatically should tell you that he's a looker right there. Just to have a little idea about sightseeing, Switzerland, Italy, France, Norway. Okay. But do you see the part where he says, not at the moment, but later? That is what? Automatically a looker. Yep. And I'm going to tell you, he's booked with me before. So it's not that he's not ever going to book with me, but that word right there. Now, do you see how I close it out? I don't cut him off. Okay. I said, oh, yes, we can do that. When you're ready to book, let me know and I'll check. Now, the reason I did this is because I have a lot of inquiries coming in. But the reason I did this is because this doesn't scream serious booker to me. Does this scream like somebody who actually wants to book? Or am I just going to quote a bunch of random properties for him that he can go and visit? And then, like I just had this happen last night. Like, definitely his friends and family are all over Europe, right? That's concerning. Like that's my point though. Do you guys see how that conversation now, if you were new and you got this conversation, what would you do? Immediately go and quote somebody, right? Switzerland, Italy, France, and Norway. You would immediately go in there and be like, hey, like, let me just start quoting them. But if I were to sit in here and honestly read this conversation, he has no intentions on booking. Now, I will tell you, he did book later. Okay. So he's not always not a booker, but this right here, I knew that he was not going to book. So I'm not going to sit here and research this when it's for later, right? Okay. That's a looker. Now, let's go to the next one, shall we? Let me know dates, locations. Exactly. All right. Now, next one. Ooh, this one's a long one. Now, the reason this is a long one is because I got ghosted on this one. So let's talk about it. Okay. Is there something to say doing the work and turning it into a mock booking if he doesn't use it? So I'm going to give you that's a good question. So Faye said, is there something to say to doing the work and then turning it into a mock booking if he doesn't use it? So a lot of the times, I'm going to tell you, be honest with you, I do all-inclusive resorts. That's typically where I stay, other than Royal Caribbean and Carnival. That's typically where I stay at, right? And I will have them come to me a lot for quoting, and then I can tell that they're not going to book. If I feel like they're not going to book, I would take this and use it into a mock booking. Absolutely. Especially if it's the all-inclusive resorts and I feel like they're not going to book that all-inclusive resort, I will go back and quote it very quickly without the flight, just so I can use it for a mock booking for somebody else to book. Does that make sense? That is a great question. Absolutely. You do not ever want to waste any of your time. So if they don't want to book it, somebody else will. So I will turn that into something else that somebody will book. I love that. Yes. All right, now let's read this guy real quick. By chance, oh, you're all just thumbing up. Okay, cool. By chance, do you know when your son's spring break is? Now, this is me on the right, okay? I'm qualifying her. And the reason I took this is because I want you guys to see how I qualify, okay? And I'm trying to relate to her and I'm trying to pull her in. So listen to this. By chance, do you know when your son's spring break is? I don't off the top of my head. Let me try and find it. And then I said, can you tell him a mom? My immediate thought was, when is he out of school? Yes, I love it. Okay. Automatic connection. Boom. April 3rd is the last day of school until April 13th. Now I'm concerned. I'm an advisor. I'm advising her when to go on a trip, right? Now, depending on the price, it might be better to go in July. Absolutely not, lady. You trying to go to Hawaii, Alani. She was trying to budget me, okay? I tried several different dates. It's all coming around to be like $8,000 for Alani. She wanted to go to Hawaii. I think it was like for 2 or 3 people. One of them was a kid, something like that. I've been doing anywhere from 4 to 5 days, different departure dates, and even weekdays. The resort averages about 900 a night for 3 people, and the flights are anywhere from 2,000. Now, if you notice something before I even go into depth, do you notice I didn't send her a quote? Did you notice that? Did you notice I just broke it down in a text message instead? Because this, if I were to honestly quote this, I would have to put it together. I would have to put it in Chat GPT and I have to build it. Instead of doing all of that, I know that this is out of her budget. I know very well it was out of her budget, so I'm going to just come in here and tell her the truth, okay? The flights are anywhere from about $2,000. Before I continue quoting, I wanted to get your ID on it. Does this sound like something you would want to do? It is voted to be the best, what is it, Moana experience in the United States. Orlando is the second best, okay? Are we able to set up payments? Yes. What are the payment plan options? No set plan, just a deposit to be paid off by a certain day. Okay, do you see how she ghosted me? Do you see how she ghosted me? Nothing else after that, right? It was gone. That was it. In a conversation. Now, she comes back in February. I want to go to Bali. You want to go to Bali? Girl, you couldn't even afford Ilani. Now we're going to go to Bali? All right. What dates are you interested in? What's the best time to go? May to September is considered the best. Is this a looker or a booker? Honestly, is this a looker or a booker? I'm going to tell you. A looker, right? Do you see how far she brought me into this? She looked, right? Do you see how I was able to identify? That's a hoper. That was good. That was good, Heather. I wasn't ready for that. Do you see, like, that's what I'm trying to get you guys to stop wasting the time, because if I was a new agent, I would have been quoting her for hours, but I ran this through Vax real quick. I just ran it through Vax. I chose a couple of dates and I was like, oh no, this isn't going to happen. I know you don't have this money. And then you're going to come back to me and be like, I want to go to Bali. Okay, ma'am, if this is how much this is, do you know how much Bali is? A Bali flight itself would be the exact same as going to Hawaii, right? So that is like, yes, that's exactly why I like to show you guys this, because even as somebody who's 4 years in, I still get stuff like this all the time, okay? The difference is before I send her a mass amount of quotes, I'm just going to be real honest with her, right? Hey, I ain't got time to do this. This is what it's coming up with. If this isn't what you guys are looking for, just let me know, right? Yes, all the time. Okay. That is why I want to show you guys this, because I want you to be able to identify what we're looking at. All right. Now, here's one that I got. I wanted to show you guys this one. 4 days is the best. This person, I'll tell you, this person did book, but the reason I brought this one in here is because I want to show you how I respond to them automatically. Okay. So do you see how I got his inquiry form? As soon as I get it, because we get notifications on Jotform, right? Hey, it's Ash. I received your inquiry. Before I start looking, do you have any dates in mind? Automatically qualification, right? But with this qualification, I can't throw all of that in there because he did fill out the inquiry form, but he felt that little, surprise me option thing. Okay, when they hit me with this, I'm automatically, do you have any dates in mind? Where are we going with this? Possibly August. That works enough for me. If you can give me a month, I can work it in there, okay? I will check out what I can find. Is 4 days okay? I normally always do 4 days. That's just how my bookings works. Normally Thursday through Monday. That's how it works for me. So I normally look for this. Sorry for the delay. But yes, 4 days is perfect for those days of the week. Now, do you see, he says sorry for the delay, but it's only from like 1:30 to 3:44. Okay, is that a looker or a booker? Just from this right here, can you tell if he's looking or if he's booking? Yeah, let me know. That's a very vast. Yes, Thursdays through Mondays, flights are cheaper flying. If you guys hear my kids, I'm so sorry. My earpods normally block that out, but I can't block it tonight. Possible booker. Yes, he was a booker. He absolutely was. Took the time to do the inquiry. He's okay with the dates. I do Thursday through Monday too. Listen, I think it's because I like to fly Thursday through Monday, and I feel like you fly in on Thursday, you get to experience the weekend, but yet you're out by the time it starts over, right? That's why I always say it. When you say you ran it through ChatGPT, do you mean you ask Chat for a general estimate of the destination details? No, so when I say I run it through ChatGPT, I normally mean whatever I write to them, I write it literally, I put it in ChatGPT and be like, hey, can you guys rewrite this to make it sound better? Because sometimes when I write things, like you can see, it's pretty like basic, right? But oh no, you're fine. But that's a good question, because sometimes like I think that's something I learned in leadership like a couple of years ago. My mentor's like, before you post it, before you send it, put it in ChatGPT first, right? Thank you, Emily. So that's what I do. So I try to put it in ChatGPT, because if not, you don't know what you're sending, right? All right, last one. Now this one's a hard one, okay? So right here, let's read this one real quick. It keeps telling me, what do you do if you don't want to use AI? Well, Stephanie, I mean, you're just going to have to write it out. That's it. You just write it out. All right, so let's read this guy. All right, hello. My husband and I would like to go on a last minute trip. We can be on a flight with as little as 2.5 hours of notice of takeoff. We can leave today or tomorrow, June 14th or this is old, June 15th of 2023. Coming back home, we would need to land in CLT by 6 p.m. on Monday at the latest. We are interested in all-inclusive food and alcohol resorts. Also would consider all-inclusive cruises. That's interesting. Looking to spend under $1,750 for everything, flights, all-inclusive accommodations, etc. City of origin. Who the hell knows city of origin, right? Like city of origin, Charlotte, North Carolina. Let me know if you have anything. What is this? Hold on. Before I even open the chat, what is this? Fraud. Yes, you guys already know. Okay, so we're doing great. Well, see, we're learning. We're learning. Looker denied. Last minute. Now that's a scammer per person. Okay, yes, this is fraud. Yes, this is absolutely fraud. This came to my Instagram like, oh, a couple years ago, and I read it and I was like, now I know. Now I know you're playing with me. Okay, let's talk about the fraud though. Motel 6 will leave the lights on. You guys are hilarious. Okay, let's talk about how I know this is fraud. First of all, to go on a last minute trip, that's kind of fraud for me. That's a red flag. Normally, even rich people don't normally go on last minute trips unless it's an emergency or something has happened, right? That's a red flag. We can be on a flight with as little as 2.5 hours of notice of takeoff. Red flag. Okay, that's great. Leave by today or tomorrow. First of all, I've never even, I mean, maybe if there's an emergency, but what? And then the biggest red flag to me out of all of this is this right here. City of origin. That is the biggest red flag. That is what all scammers will write to you because they don't know that we don't talk like this. We don't ever talk like this to nobody, right? Nobody's ever going to be like city of origin, right? Yeah, they're using lingo. Right. That's it right there. And the airport code. Yes, Bianca. I never knew an airport code until I became a travel agent. I promise you. I didn't care about what the airport codes were. We departing out of Houston. That's it, right? I didn't even know. I mean, there's two airports. I don't know which one I'm leaving, right? That's exactly my point. This is a red flag. This is fraud, actually. I didn't even get as far. As soon as I started to talk to this person, they were food and alcohol resorts. Exactly. That they could have tried a little harder to be believable. We had to learn the airport codes. Oh, nice. Yes, right. Exactly. So you guys get it, right? I throw this one at the end because this one really this can really get somebody in trouble. Okay. This is how fraud happens because new agents, they see this and they're like, ooh, yeah, right. But no, this is automatic fraud. Especially, I always tell you guys, anything that's within 21 days, automatically give it to someone to look at. Even me at 4 years in here, if I got something that was within 21 days and it just felt weird, I would send it to my mentor and say, hey, take a look at this because I'm not really sure about it, right? Good clue. They might be frequent flyers. I know the airport codes. Yes. Okay, hold on. So I had a person that wanted a quote for Celebration Key, Carnival, drink package, internet, certain decks, balcony, etc. I did all the works, 2 days worth. While waiting for them to provide their VIP, I received an email from the wife and it said that Carnival had reached out to them and offered it all for $1,200. I would want to see that. I would ask them to see it, Christy. How should I have responded? Those were the people that actually been on cruises before, so I assumed they were bookers. So basically, they got a offer. They got an offer from Carnival that you can also offer them, and I bet you could have still taken the booking, but I bet you they got like a casino offer or something. But next time that happens, ask them to see it. I want to see what you got offered because a lot of times they could be bluffing or they could get it to where sometimes I don't know what it is sometimes with people, but they just think that we can magically get things lower, like as if we're not providing them the lowest option, they think we can get it lower. So they'll tell us like via screen grab. I mean, I just screenshot it. Yeah. Because like a lot of the times I've had somebody come to me and they were like, oh, we went and booked it and it's a lot cheaper. And then I'd be like, oh, really? I just looked it up on the site and it's not. Like I will compare. You want to compare? I know my prices are good, so let's compare, right? But I would definitely ask them to look at it because they're not telling you the whole story is what it is. That's basically what they did. Okay. Now following up here. Okay, there's more people that keep writing in the chats, but I can't see it. All right, let's go. Now, let's do a quick diagnostic so you guys kind of get a rough idea of where I'm going with this. Red flags automatically is send me options. Send me options. I can't stand when somebody says, send me some options, okay? I don't like to free go out there and just start sending options. I need to be very specific about what we're going to specifically send. Now, a lot of you guys have attended my training that I just did the other day, which was part 2 of this, okay? This is a part 1 version. There is a part 2 where I talk about how to take these lookers and bookers and turn them into actual bookers. But a part of that questionnaire that I give you guys, I tell them if I think they're a looker, I tell them, okay, that's fine. I can send you some options, but before I send you options, if I get everything that you're looking for and in the budget that you have, are you going to be able to make a deposit? Are you looking into securing this? Are we looking to move forward? I ask that question before I start quoting, okay? And the reason I ask that question is because if I feel like that's not what's going to happen, then I know sending me some options means you're getting 1 or 2, right? Now, a lot of things I'll also do is sometimes I will send them one option and I'll get their opinion on it before I give them another one. Do you guys ever do that? Or do you guys drop all 3 quote options, or do you build into it? Because I need to build some desire. So I send them the first option that's kind of like, yeah, okay. And then I'll be like, what do you think about that one? Do you have questions about that one? Let me send you another one. Look, this is also what I found, right? Do you guys ever do that? Build into it for sure. I had a friend, no, do one option and go from there. Yes, okay. Yes, I highly are you quoting it without your fee? Yeah, this is without a fee. I mean, just like in general. Like if somebody came to you, Rondell, and they were like, all right, I need a quote. Are you sending all 3 options or are you sending one at a time? That's a big one too. I like to send one at a time because then I can kind of figure out where I'm going with this. And it also kind of helps me determine how far I want to keep quoting for it, right? Well, let me see here. So refuses to state budget. Everybody's got a budget. Even the richest person in the world's got a budget. And the reason I like this one right here, I will rephrase this. If they come to me and they're like, I don't have a budget. Okay, fine. You might not have a budget, but if you were to sit down and think about how much you really wanted to spend on this trip, what were you thinking? That's what I asked. Slow to reply. I don't like when people are slow to reply. That means they're not serious about it. That's okay. That's a red flag for me. And then constant changes. Now, somebody asked me about a fee earlier. The first time I ever charged a fee is because I was doing a multi-origin air, which means they were coming from different places and they were all going to one resort. Okay. I quoted that person 4 times. If you've ever built one of those, it takes about an hour and a half to build one. So after I quoted her 4 times, I let her know very carefully, hey, this takes me about an hour and a half to do, and I don't have a lot more time to do it. So if I need to do another quote for you, I'm going to have to charge you $25 per quote because I can't keep sitting here and wasting an hour of my time quoting this and you want to add somebody else or whatever. As soon as I mentioned how much time I took to do so, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, you know what? This is exactly what I want. Okay, fine. Sometimes they don't know what we're doing, so they don't know, like, it takes that time, right? So I don't always have to charge a fee, but I will let them know, hey, you keep playing around, we will, right? Now, green flags, bookers, specific dates, clear budget, ready to deposit, highly engaged, and they ask for the next steps. I love when they ask me questions. The more questions, the better, because I need us to be on the same page. And if you think about it, it's good that they're asking questions because they're about to invest a large amount of money with you. They need to know everything about it. So I'm all for people when they're asking me questions. That's normally a good sign of a booker. Okay. Now, somebody asked me earlier, how do we handle lookers? Okay. Let me see here. I send it 1 at a time, all 3. Paula, next time, send it 1 at a time. Send it 1 and then ask them about it, how they feel about it, and then say, hey, I'm working on the other one. I'll bring it right back. That way you're building anticipation, you're building in that desire, and you're getting a more clearer picture of what they want. Because if you send them all 3, right, normally we do like a little bit higher than the budget, the middle, and then we hit like the lower budget, right? That's normally 3, but I want to make sure that's what they're looking for because they might not actually care so much about the budget. It might be more about the experience. And if that is for me, I might change the resorts. So I kind of just send 1 and build into it. Okay. Now, handling lookers, how to protect your time without burning bridges. I think this is the problem that a lot of us have. I think we're afraid to burn the bridge and we don't want to burn the bridge, right? We don't want it to sound like we're not taking care of them. That's not what we're trying to do. What we want is to kind of keep them like in a nurturing field where we can keep them like lukewarm, where they might book later, right? So we don't want to ghost them. We don't want to overwork them by asking them a ton of questions. If we pick up on that vibe, that's okay. Send only one or two high-level options. If they want to book it, great. If they're just looking, that's fine. But we need to set firm expectations and then move on when necessary. That's it, okay? Here's what I have. Let me know what you think. Now, if they don't say anything to me, then I'll go a couple of days. I will respond back and I will say, hey, I sent you those options. What did you think about them? If I don't hear anything again, I'll follow up in 7 days. If I don't hear anything after the 7 days, I move on. I take that email though, and I slap it into my newsletters. I slap it into my email campaigns. I have it all set up to where they're getting repeat emails from me regardless. So I'll just take that as a looker. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're lost forever. So I still keep them in the loop. Okay. Now, bookers, obviously a little bit easier. The only thing is I'm going to tell you something. Even if you're able to identify a looker and a booker, you could easily lose a booker if you don't close them correctly. I'm gonna be really honest with you. And that's the other thing that you guys come to me about. Like, I work with a bunch of new agents. Every day I'm working with a new agent. Every time I meet you guys, most of you are new. And a lot of you will come down to, I don't have leads. It's because you're not qualifying them or you're not closing them. That's it. Those are the two things that we can either make or break a deal. Okay, so now we've talked about how to qualify them. We also need to talk about how to close them too, right? We have to be able to qualify them to a point where we are projecting this whole entire thing with absolute confidence. We have to get it to a point where this is exactly what it is for you, okay? Provide 2 or 3 curated options, lead the decision process, and then create that natural urgency. Now, I want to show you, I don't have a way, I don't want to expose my text messages, okay? But I'm going to give you a good example of how I did this the other day. So I did a really big honeymoon trip, and it took me like 2 or 3 options I had to send out. They already had a rough idea that they wanted to do Breathless Punta Cana, so I sent them that first option. Here's the thing. A lot of people, when they go and do bookings, you guys don't know this, but they're just booking the room. When they go, they book the room and then they hope for the best, right? But when they come to us, guys, they're expecting us to create an entire experience for them. So when I went in there, I did he paid full price, right out of his bank. He pulled full price, okay? So I'm not asking deposits, nothing. Now the shift has come to, I need to plan the best experience for him. He's got the money, right? So then I came back and I gave him the swim up suite. Instead of just the room booking, I gave him the swim up suite. I gave him the transfers. I gave him the excursion list. I gave him the flights and the resort, all for 7 nights. Okay. Now, the reason I'm explaining to you like that is because I'm changing it to basically not just I'm quoting you, here's an entire experience that you can have that I will take care of you. That's a closing. That's it. That's all you really need. Honestly, as a travel advisor, when you can take it from here's the price, have a great day, to here's how I can plan this experience for you exactly to where you're going and everything, that is probably the best way to close them. Okay. Now, with that, when I'm leading them, now this is all covered partially in my part 2, okay? But when I'm leading them, another thing that I really like to do too is create natural urgency. Now, I don't want you to lie to them, okay? But normally when we're checking out, they normally have like 2 rooms left, 6 rooms left, right? I throw that in there too. Absolutely. Yeah, I got 6 rooms left on this. We better close this one. It's good. It's going to sell out fast, right? We want to kind of build them into it, but I want to make sure they have everything that they need to in order to close it. Now, that has been the biggest game changer for me. It has. When I sat down and it was like, I'm not just quoting you, I'm an advisor, I'm advising you on what to do, then I project it as that's how you are to me. You trust me to advise you where to go. That's the mindset stuff that will make it to where these lookers, they don't want to come to you anymore because they're at the point where they're like, oh, she's not going to sit here and look for me, right? You want to give off that energy so they don't waste your time. Okay. Now, why don't people book? Like I said, you guys come to me with too many things. First one is I don't get enough leads. So now we're qualifying people so we have the proper leads. The other one is they don't close the booking. They don't book with me. A lot of the times they don't book with you guys because there's too many options. You dropped it off on them and said, all right, let me know what you think. Let's just see where it goes, right? And there's no urgency. There's nothing to where, hey, this is selling out. Hey, this is going to close out soon. We need to get this booked, right? when they don't have any of these clarified for them, they don't feel the need to do it. You have to push them towards it and remove any of the confusion in the process. That is the number one thing that we do as travel advisors. Yes. Now, somebody wrote something. I have the link, just wondering if she does those types of tradings. Which tradings? I do. I do. Give me 1 second tomorrow. I'll get you guys all of your trainings. I have 700 plus trainings. I do actually. All right. Now, with this, what I want you guys to take from this, okay? When you guys are getting new leads from here on out, this is what I want you to think. Even if they don't come into you through a lead inquiry form, even if they come into your inbox, I want you to automatically qualify them. I want you to qualify them, and as you're qualifying them, get the feel of how they're answering. Identify them. Are they looking or are they booking? Okay? When you identify them, I want you then to adjust your effort level. Adjust it. If you feel like they're just looking, okay, we're going to give you 1 or 2 quotes, but I'm not going to push you so much because I know that you're looking. But if I feel like they're going to book, then I'm going to take that little extra, steps, right? And focus exclusively on closing them. That's what my goal is to close them on the deal. A lot of the times when we get bookings, guys, they don't just come with us one time and then they book. A lot of them will come in, ask questions, then they'll come back and ask more questions, and then we'll qualify them, then we'll quote them, and then we'll close them, right? That is the thing that I want you guys to acknowledge. One, I'm not going to close them automatically every single time. That's okay. But they can still be important. I just need to know where I'm putting my time. Am I putting my time too much on lookers, or am I focusing all my time on closing it with bookers? That's what you really got to sit down and think about, right? Now, with this, okay, I have a full, we're gonna do a whole little breakdown, okay? I stopped it at just an hour just so I could spend time with you guys and answer your questions. So if you guys have scenarios like this and you want to know how to respond, if you have something for me to look out, I'm going to stop recording now, but I want you guys I want to fix it. I want to help you guys get into the mindset. I want you guys to drop your situations. I know some of you are already doing so. If you want to copy and paste them, that's fine. But let's do it live. Yeah, let's get it down. Let's tear it down. Let's consult with each other. We could break down real scenarios if you want. But that is what I really wanted to show you guys tonight before I stop recording is let's just stop before we just rush into a quote. Let's qualify every single person that we met, okay? Now, there is a part 2 to this, so if you're watching the recording, if you check the description, I will put the part 2 in there so you guys can come in and watch part 2, okay? Now, let me stop recording real quick. Oh, snap. I didn't want to do all that. All right, hold on.